Hello, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for this interview with one special, very special guest, member of our community, and that is Professor Andrew Marcum, who's the academic director of our Disability Studies program. Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing very well. It's great to be with you. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure, and Happy New Year. I hope you had a nice holiday. We had a chance to recharge our batteries, so to speak, and ready for the new spring semester in 2023. So, so Andrew, I know you have been academic director at SPS since last year, and some members of our audience might even ask, what is disability studies? But before we get there, I'd like to know a little bit more about you. So if you can tell us how you got to a position in academia, what interested you in higher education, and in particular in disability studies?
Sure. So I'm a person with a disability. I was born with cerebral palsy. I'm also the first person in my family to graduate from college. And when I went to college, it really opened my mind up to the world, and it was a great experience. And I decided maybe when I was a senior undergraduate that I wanted to pursue being a professor because I wanted to teach. I wanted to introduce people to the ideas and things that had inspired me. And I was studying English literature and American history at that time. And then I discovered American Studies, which was the interdisciplinary study of American history and culture. And as a person with a disability, I was very much interested in how we think about disability, how we talk about disability, what stories we tell about disability, and how those translate into policies and actions and how we respond to disability. So that's how I wound up in disability studies, which, if you're not familiar with it, is the interdisciplinary study of disability, bringing together the social sciences with the humanities to look at disability holistically as a social and cultural and historical formation, not just a medical category, but something that is part of the fabric of our society and culture, and how we think about and talk about disability affects how we respond to it, and affects everything from public policy to environmental design and architecture. All of those different things can be implicated in disability and how we think about it. So that's what disability studies is. It's looking at what disability is and how we respond to it socially and culturally, and what that means for us as a society.
And how many years have you been involved in this discipline?
Let's see, more than a decade. I've been teaching college courses now for almost 20 years. In fact, this year will be my 20th year teaching in American Studies and Disability Studies.
Congratulations. Congratulations. And when we teach and study disability studies, what type of disabilities are contemplated in those studies? Can you?
Well, our program looks at the full range, so we have a number of different tracks. If you're interested in autism spectrum, or intellectual and developmental disabilities, or physical disabilities, mental health is a growing area, a key area that we're increasingly invested in. And we have students who are social workers. We have students who are in criminal justice and law enforcement who want to better understand disability. We have people in arts and the theater who want to create cultural productions and artistic productions that represent the disability experience, but are also accessible to people with disabilities. We have people that work in public institutions and places like museums. We have a master's degree that focuses exclusively on disability accommodations in higher education. So we have a lot of parents of people with disabilities who want to learn how to be better advocates for their children. And what we try to do in the program is give professionals, working professionals, and students the opportunity to gain the skills and the tools and the language that they need to make the world a more accessible and equitable place for people with disabilities.
And you mentioned programs. Can you specify or give a little bit more detail on which are the academic programs that we offer at the School of Professional Studies?
Sure. So we have we have a baccalaureate, a Bachelor of Arts in Disability Studies, which is that interdisciplinary degree that I've described. We also have the Master of Arts in Disability Studies, which is similar to the baccalaureate, except it's at the graduate level. And again, that degree program attracts people from a wide array of professional fields who are interested in accessibility and equality of access and opportunity for people with disabilities. Then we have the Master of Science degree in Disability in Higher Education, which was developed in collaboration with the Association of Higher Education and Disability. It's called AHEAD. You can go to ahead.org if you want to learn more about that. And that is really focused on higher education professionals and administrators in working to create accessibility for students with disabilities and accommodating students and providing educational opportunities for students.
Fantastic. So we have 3 academic programs: a bachelor's in art, a master in arts, and a master in science. The master in science particularly focused on higher education, correct?
Right. And I should say we also have 2 certificate programs.
Great.
So we have the certificate program in disability studies and the certificate program in disability in higher ed. And a lot of students who maybe are not ready to commit to a full-on degree program can get the professional credential of a certificate through our programs. And that will open up professional opportunities for them, but also give them a sense of, do I want to go ahead and do a full-on degree or not? And so a lot of students start out with that certificate, and then they do decide to go on and complete a full degree.
Now, I imagine some students also, apart from starting either from a certificate, they might start at the bachelor level and then continue towards the master's degree. As a matter of fact, we have several professors at SPS who initially started their academic career at SPS, which is a testament to the quality of the program. It's a program that has been taught for over a decade at SPS, one of the initial and most successful ones nationwide. So I'm really pleased with the way that the program has evolved. But I wonder, for students who are contemplating a career in disability studies, what types of job opportunities or pathways? You mentioned social work a little bit ago, but can you tell us a little bit about what other potential job pathways might be available to them?
Sure. So it really depends on where you're at professionally and what your career is and what your investment in equality of access and equality of opportunity for people with disabilities is. So, architecture and design has always been an interest for me, and designing more accessible spaces is important. And I think that our program offers people the opportunity to learn about disability from a holistic perspective that's going to inform their career in that area. I think that if you're a person who is already working in the disability services fields, so if you're, direct service provider, Medicaid service coordinator,
psychologist, I would imagine.
Psychology, yeah. Sorry, the screen changed. I thought we lost each other there for a minute.
No, I'm here. I just wanted to give you a more of a focus as you were explaining.
Yeah, and I mean, even things like, all areas of public policy, whether we're talking about public transportation or education, special education, mental health and mental health counseling. I mean, I think we're becoming more and more aware of the importance of understanding disability and diversity. Mind-body differences, access and functional needs, and the fact that if we want to create a world that is more sustainable and more just, we need to better understand how we accommodate difference and incorporate and celebrate diversity in everything that we do. And I really think that disability studies is in an excellent position to help people do that, not only through the theoretical work that we do in the field to understand what disability is and why it matters, but also through the practical hands-on experience that we encourage among our students. Again, most of them are already working professionals, so they're already working with people with disabilities on a daily basis, whether that be in congregate settings or our community rehabilitation or in the school system or in government offices. I've been having meetings over the course of this semester with the Bronx DA office. The district attorney's office in the Bronx is interested in building a workplace that is accessible and inclusive of people with disabilities, and understanding that people with disabilities are disproportionately impacted by the criminal justice system. But the criminal justice system is not really designed to accommodate and support people with disabilities. So they're looking to how do we build a better system that accommodates disability. I've been working with a grassroots mental health organization in the city this past semester to develop educational programming around mental health and mental health awareness that incorporates what we call the social model of disability and mental health, which is really understanding, again, that it's not just a medical category or something to be cured, but it's part of the spectrum of human diversity and experience. And when we start to understand it that way, we can build better policies and better systems.
Fantastic. And one question some of our audience members might have, and by the way, we have a very active community listening live. We have received several comments. So thank you everyone who is commenting. Feel free, if you have any questions for either Andrew or myself, to add it on the comment section, and we'll do our best to address that question. But one thing I wanted to make sure we clarified for our audience, even though our program is based in New York City, CUNY is as all of you or most of you know, one of the preeminent higher education institutions in New York City. We offer our program nationwide. Actually, we offer it globally. We have had students who have contacted us from as far away as the United Kingdom who are interested in the program, because there are actually not that many programs with the history, with the expertise that we offer. And we do offer our programs fully online. So if you are a student who needs the flexibility of space and place, and you want to take either a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in disability studies, we can offer that option to you. So I like if you could, Andrew, explain to our audience how is the dynamic of an online course, i.e. how can a student, say, in the United Kingdom participate just as fully on the academic program as a student who might be physically in New York City or California or Latin America, whatever they happen to be?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, the online environment offers a great deal of flexibility for students because the courses are online and asynchronous. You can take them anywhere. And I think that the online environment, from a teaching perspective, it offers the opportunity to engage in a wide range of different ways, whether it's incorporating media and digital content into the course,
Mm-hmm.
giving students the time and flexibility to read and review and respond to materials when they're able, which I think enriches the discussion and the educational experience, because you're not limited to a specific time and place. You can take the time to really dig into the material, think about it,
Mm-hmm.
reflect on it, engage with your peers in the online environment. And one thing, it gives us the advantage of being able to draw on a pool of instructors and scholars from everywhere, from across the country and around the world, that we wouldn't be able to do if we were
Yeah.
primarily site-based. I mean, we've got leaders in the field of disability studies who teach from California and Oregon and the Midwest and here in New York City, and we just wouldn't be able to do that without the online format.
And you also, I believe, have a journal, a peer-reviewed journal
We do.
in disability studies. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the journal was launched not too long ago, maybe 18 months ago. I think we've done now 3 volumes, and we're preparing to do a launch of 4th in the at the end of the spring, early summer. In fact, we're already getting some submissions. And the journal is the Journal of Teaching Disability Studies. So it is a journal that is focused exclusively on teaching disability studies and disability studies pedagogy, and why is it important? Why does it matter? How do we teach it? How do we apply it in our workplaces and in our professional endeavors? I'm really excited by the quality of stuff that we've been able to publish. I think that we're currently the only journal at SPS, and I'm proud of that. So
it is indeed. It is indeed, and it's also a great opportunity to share knowledge with colleagues across the world. So it really is a center of expertise of the School of Professional Studies, and we're very proud of it. I wonder if
the chance also to develop professionally and develop those connections and have some of their research, an outlet for their research. So it's a great asset to students as well.
So some of those prospective students might be asking, what are the requirements? Are there any specific requirements to enter the program?
Yeah, so if you go online and you look up disability studies at SPS, you can go to sps.cuny.edu/disability-studies-programs, and you will find on that page everything that you need to know about the program, and you'll see a big red Apply Now button, and if you click there, it will give you all the details on how to apply, what the deadlines are. I believe the next deadline round of applications is due in early April. Mm-hmm. And it will explain to you how to apply, what you need to do to apply. You'll need transcripts. You'll do a personal essay. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly straightforward process. It's fairly simple.
And I believe there is a GPA requirement of 2.5 or above, correct?
Yeah. If you're applying for one of the master's programs, it's a 3.0, I believe. And for the certificate program, I believe it's 2.0.
Good. So 2.5. Now, there's also a program we have at SPS. Let's imagine, since we have a lot of students who are adult learners who work full time and need the flexibility. Mm-hmm. Maybe they started their academic career some years ago and now they want to go back to college, but they didn't do as well in those initial years. So they might not reach the 2.5 GPA threshold. We have a special program called Jumpstart that would allow you as a student or a prospective student to apply with a portfolio that will demonstrate that you have a skill set or have developed experiences or skill set that should warrant you admission, even if you are below the 2.5. So that, of course, is assessed by you, Andrew, and your colleagues. But it's an opportunity for those who maybe at some point stopped their academic career and want to come back and finish their degree. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. And we also, if you're not, for those who may not be familiar with the CUNY system, it's really a system that was created to promote and proliferate educational opportunities for people who wouldn't otherwise get those opportunities. Mm-hmm. So people like myself who are first generation college students, our program in our school is majority minority, and we serve a population of people who are committed to public service and doing good in the world. That's what we're about. And so if you're applying to our program, maybe you don't have an academic reference because you like you said, you've been out of school for a while, but you can get a really good recommendation from a boss that you're working with in the disability services field. And you can work with us to take courses as a non-matriculating student so you can get used to the courses. And you can take the certificate program and kind of get used to it and get in the groove. And we allow you plenty of time to complete your degree. And we try to work with each student individually to help them succeed and meet their goals. So we're not a place. Yeah, go ahead.
That's a good point, Andrew. Given the fact that most of our students are adults who are working full time or have either work or family obligations, it is not uncommon to have students who take only a few courses per semester. So you can take as long as you need to complete, as long as you are active, of course, in your academic progression. But we have students who take just 1 or 2 courses per semester, but eventually they complete their degree. The faculty is amazing, very supportive. I'm very proud that we have disability studies in our DNA at the school. Everything we do at the school, whether it's in terms of content for the courses and the way that we support our students, has that embedded, that consciousness and that priority given to making sure we are adequately serving disabled students. So it is one of our jewels at CUNY SPS. I'm very proud of it. So I'm wondering, Andrew, if you have any additional recommendations for potential current or potential students who might be interested in disability studies.
Sure. I think if you have an interest in building equality of opportunity and equality of access for people with disabilities, whatever that means for you in your professional career, take a look at our program. Go online, reach out to me if you like, and I'm happy to meet with you, answer questions that you may have. I have a fantastic assistant director called Tamara Colon, and she does a wonderful job working with graduate students and helping to advise them, and she can answer questions about the whole process of applying and getting through school. So
if you
can look at our course catalog and see what we offer and pick something that works for you.
Right. So if someone wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to do it? Do you have a preference?
Email. The best way to reach me, andrew.marcum@cuny.edu.
Andrew.marcum, just like it's on your caption there. Andrew.marcum@cuny.edu. You can also visit our website, sps.cuny.edu, and on the search bar, just put disability studies, and it will take you directly to a description of the programs. There's also a description of the curriculum. So what are the courses that are included both at the bachelor's and at the master's level? Andrew mentioned something earlier, which I think is important, which is if you don't know whether an online course or an online study program is good for you, we have something called Test Flight. Test Flight allows you to take a brief online course with us at no cost to you, so that you can see if this is a methodology and a way of teaching and learning that is well suited to you. So you can also find information about that in our website, sps.cuny.edu. And we are very glad and very proud of the success of the program. We have graduated hundreds of students already in disability studies. So we're spreading our community not only across New York City, but across the nation and the world. And it's in a significant part testament to the importance that disability studies has, the interdisciplinary nature of the program, as Andrew mentioned, the fact that there are many possibilities and many roles and careers that you can pursue, and all of them with a social justice mission. So any final thoughts, Andrew, that you would like to share with us?
Well, I just appreciate the time that you've given to me to talk about our program. I appreciate the audience who's listening, and I want to say again how proud I am of the program and what we're able to offer. I mean, I was thinking just now that we have faculty who teach courses on disability and the law, for example.
Yes.
And they're legal scholars who've been leaders in the disability rights movement, and they're teaching for our program. You know, we have experts in universal design and access and functional needs teaching for our program. We have people who have been leaders in the self-advocacy movement for people with disabilities, intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities for decades, and they're teaching in our program. And there's no other program where you can get that kind of instruction from working professionals, advocates, and disability activists who've been doing the work for decades. I just think that's a great opportunity for anybody who's interested in making the lives of people with disabilities better.
Excellent. So Andrew, again, thank you so much for dedicating the time. Best of luck as we start the spring semester of 2023. Look forward to seeing you soon, and to everyone who has participated in this live stream or is watching the recorded version of it. Thank you very much for listening, for joining us, and we hope to hear from you in the future if you're interested in the program. So, Andrew, thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day and the week, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
You bet. Thank you again, and you have a great week as well. Good to be with you. See you later.
Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.